Hey there. We'd love for you to hit that subscribe button. By subscribing, you're helping us spread the word and connect with more amazing people like you.
Welcome to We Be Parents, where parent doctors Matthew Letterman and Alona Pulday explore current parenting topics, share stories, and help bring families closer together.
All right. Welcome to We Be Parents, where we help families grow closer together across generations. Whether you're raising a young child, navigating the parenting partnerships with a spouse, or working on healing with your own parents, we are here to explore how connection grows in all directions. Hi, I'm Dr. Alona Pulday.
And hi, I'm Dr. Matthew Letterman.
And today's guest isn't a parent, but that's exactly why we're excited to talk with him. Marcos is so many incredible things. He's a chef and a boxer and someone who recently completed a major personal transformation through a 30-day challenge with Beyond Meat.
And we just really like Marcos.
Yes.
So there's just, you see this guy, you meet him.
Thank you, guys.
And he just warms your heart and you just want to give him a big hug. And he's so authentic. And anyway, maybe you could maybe Marcos, could you tell us
Let's
just a little?
welcome him. Hello, Marcos, and welcome.
Hi, guys. How you doing? Thank you so much for this invitation. Actually, believe it or not, this is my second podcast in my life.
Oh, wow.
Normally, I don't do podcasts. Normally, I don't because maybe I don't have time. But I love to talk, as you know. So I'm very grateful to be here. This is very different, and I'm very blessed just to share my story with you guys. I hope you guys enjoy it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Maybe you can tell us a little bit about his background. You have such an interesting background. It's so fun to just listen to you and hear about your, what got you to where you are today and your experience and all the cool things that you do.
Well, definitely. My family is from Italy and Venezuela. So I born in Venezuela, and definitely we grew up cooking. It's my mom is a pastry chef and a baker. So as a kid, I have that smell every single day of cookies, bread, So also I see my mom hard, working hard every day. So I think I have that in my mind as a kid, like a work ethic. Some people don't see their parents, what they do for work. So they don't know the struggles. I saw it as a kid, and that's a very key as a person to see actually your parents working hard to put a plate of food on the table. So that's one thing that's the reason why I work so hard, and I respect schedules, or just never give up, for example.
Yeah, no, I know that.
That's pretty much my childhood.
That. Yeah,
kind of strong. Yeah, I didn't realize that.
And you bring food to so many different people. From somebody, like you said, just walking by during these, challenging times and trying to give food away to help people out, to working with sports teams and actors and all sorts. So the whole range there.
That thing, that was my childhood. But then I become a chef. And I was the youngest chef in my city 20 something years ago. I'm 46 right now. And I see myself in the magazine, the youngest chef of Caracas,
Wow.
I was already a 5-star chef on a hotel. I was 20 when that happened. And after I moved to the United States, I had to start from zero. They didn't know that I can cook. I didn't have the language. So I had to start as a dishwasher. And I'm like, oh my God, okay, let's do it, But because I have so much knowledge, I think they notice this. And this is a true story in Orlando, Florida. South Carolina, Greenville. I was a dishwasher. 3 months later, I was the executive chef of the whole restaurant. And no English. And I have a translator that helped me to run the kitchen. That's how much I flipped the restaurant with my cooking. I realized that you don't have to know the language to to share love with food, or passion or delicious food. Doesn't matter where you come from. If you know how to do anything, your hands, your talent can do it. That was a really major success I have as a 6 months later that I
That's fast
arrived
too.
to the
Yeah.
country.
That's
Yep.
not only fast, but I love
Yeah,
that
it's crazy.
description. And I imagine that people felt that, you sharing a love around making food and sharing it
Yeah,
with other people. And that is so felt.
it was great. And that's when I realized, okay, I want to do more. So I start cooking. I want to cook in my mind. I start manifesting. I want to cook for a president. I want to be in a magazine. I want to cook for celebrities. I saw myself and I did it. I cooked for the Clintons. I cooked for Obama. I cooked for the Prime Minister of England. I cooked for the King of Spain. I cooked for Michael Jordan, Dennis Rodman, Scottie Pippen, Beckham, Shakira, Jay-Z, J-Lo, Mark Anthony, Pavarotti, Hank Aaron, the mayor of, it's like I can keep going. And I was like literally checking my list because I put the
Wow.
names and I did it. And after I did it, I said, okay, I want to move on I want to be a sailor. I want to cook around the world in a super yacht. And I did it. I did it for 12 years. I saw the whole world. I have a crazy rich life. When you live on boats, you are in that bubble. You're not rich, but you have to be in that bubble because they bring you to all those places. And it was tough to leave the job. When you leave that industry, you realize you're not part of that bubble. The salaries are different. You have to pay your food. You have to pay for everything. So it was kind of like a little bit hard for me to understand to come back to normal life.
Hmm.
I imagine.
But the traveling was amazing. Uh, and then that's it. I did a TV show that they put me on the map, which the name is Below Deck. And then I started opening restaurants. Right now, this is more crazy. The restaurant I am right now, I don't know if you want me to move a little bit. This restaurant right now, it used to be my restaurant 3 years ago. Uh, when I did the TV show, it was a very successful restaurant, but one of my business partners took all the money and run away. And I was pretty much broke. I couldn't pay rent. I was broke. And 3 years later, I get it back and it's only mine. I have no business partners. I changed the name, I changed the menu, and I get it back. It's crazy what
Wow.
happens.
What an incredible
Yeah,
story.
yeah.
I love
It's
your ambition. I love your persistence. Like you don't give up. You have a vision and
no,
you go for it and you make it happen.
And you don't get, and
yeah.
you also, what I like about you, you lead with love. Like you put your heart out there, you care, and you trust that the universe is gonna meet you, and it's all gonna work out.
You have to, you have to, even if somebody betray you for 10 times, you have to trust the 11th time. You have to keep trusting the new person.
I love it.
Otherwise, you're going to be stuck in that spot forever. And I apply boxing in my life. I got knocked down, Matt, multiple times later. And I get up and I say, should I keep fighting or should I never box again? If you say I will never box again, you can put that in life. When when you have a failure, in a restaurant, it's pretty much like you're getting knocked down. One thing is you're never going to open a restaurant again or you keep trying. That's the same strategy for boxing. And that's what I do. And it works.
Was that part of your upbringing, or is that something that kind of you developed on your own, that notion of trusting and of ambition? And I know you mentioned seeing your mom working really hard.
Yeah, I think I trust people as Marcos, from day one. But at one point, I think I started not trusting people. A lot of people took advantage of me because I like to help people too. But that a lot sometimes happens where you're too good. People take advantage of you. So I changed a little bit. No, I don't say that much as before, but still I trust people. What I developed is I know how to read people. I know what odd questions to ask. I know I can tell your body language. In the past, I didn't have that developed in my brain. I was like, it can be bad, it can be good. I don't know. I say yes to both. Now it's like me watching a TV, and I hate horror movies. I don't like it. So I can't sleep for some reason. So if I see a horror movie, I just change the channel until I see a comedy movie. That's pretty much what I do in life.
Mm.
I always changing the remote control, and I keep the channel where I feel comfortable.
I love that. So some people, you meet them and they look like a horror movie, and you just flip the channel and you find the comedy people.
Yeah.
I like
And sometimes I'm wrong because, that's the first impression. So then, when you come back and you do the whole circle, the channels, you ever did that before?
Yeah.
And you keep on this, well, sometimes you go back to the same channel and say, oh, I think this movie is actually good. Same with people. So you can't judge that, you have to like, oh, I don't like it too much. I come back, I developed that like myself, actually. Yeah.
I love that.
Crazy, but
I love that you didn't, and I like how you related to boxing. You related to a whole, like the completeness of your life experience and the ability to discern, which I think is so important to connect to yourself, what feels right for you in the moment. But what I really love about it is you don't say the end. You kind of put ... I don't like it now, but I'm reserving the right to change my mind. It's not adamant and written in stone. So you have the discernment, the ability to decide what you like, what you don't like, but also the flexibility to keep exploring, discovering, learning new things.
100%. Like I think when you give that, when you stop, giving chances to people learning, I think that's when you pretty much stop developing yourself, and you're gonna be stuck there. Should we know a lot of people do that? I'm okay here. I don't like this type of person. I don't. It's like a square. It's sadly, the world it is the way that it is, and there are people out there they think that way. But not me. I'm always learning. Like I learned even from my dishwasher a couple of days ago. But it's like, wow, I didn't know this. So when I have new ideas, I actually put them on paper because it's that much you can put in your brain. So when I have good ideas coming from anybody, I just put them on paper. I have my notes, and then I come back, and I apply it in life.
For a while, we get a lot of questions about what to do in tricky parenting or relationship moments.
Yeah, and if I'm being real, I'm asking Alona those same questions all the time. I get into those same tricky moments as everybody else does. And as much as we wish we could be there for each other in those exact moments, we just can't always be.
Yeah, that's why we partnered with the amazing team at Connectin to create something we truly believe in, an AI coach called Amari. And we didn't just lend our names, we helped build it and train it and brought in everything we've learned about emotional healing, connection, and communication.
Yeah, we spent years training and learning, and we've created Amari, who is so calm and grounded, listens, and compassionate. There's no judgment, activity. In fact, we tasked our children with trying to get Amari reactive, and they still haven't succeeded. It's just steady support when you need it most.
We use it ourselves all the time, especially when we feel stuck or overwhelmed. And Amari's really helped us pause, reflect, given us insight that helps us come back to each other.
Yeah, we designed Amari to help you strengthen the relationships that matter most, starting with the one you have with yourself.
Tell us a little bit about, and we are so excited that you can try it now at webeparents.com and click on We Be Connectin' with a K to sign up. And when you have your Amari moment, please let us know, as we'd love to hear about it. So you want to tell us a little bit about the transformation that you kind of went through with Beyond Meat?
Yeah, well, that was unexpected. I always been, I always been eating meat in my life. I've been eating bad pretty much my whole life as a chef. People probably say, "Oh, you're a chef. You probably eat amazing." Wrong. We don't eat our own food. We don't eat that fancy food. We want just hot dogs, burgers, pizza, whatever, meat, steak and eggs. Obviously, back in the day, it was a lot of alcohol. I think we talk about it. Every kitchen, you see a lot of alcohol, bad food, a lot of drugs too. You see that. But even that, whatever I've been telling you about all my experience in life, it was one thing that it never was good, which is the way I was treating my body, and that's for the first time in my life when I did Beyond Meat. I was scared. I knew it was going to work. I never was a spectacle. I knew it's going to work. I knew it's a fact. It's been out there for so many years. And the crazy people know how good is the results. They just don't apply it, Besides Beyond Meat, it's just, the plant-based, the healthy life, the inputs out there. And everyone knows, yeah, the ginger is good. No, yes, this is good. Do you do it? No. So that's the thing. Not just to know the knowledge, but to apply it. And the results are crazy. I really have crazy results, like a really good results. And it was like 2 or 3 days, maybe the first week, that I felt like kind of like an adjustment, but I think that's normal for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
But then when I took off, I didn't want to stop. And that I lost a lot of weight. I lost a lot of weight, which I gained it back, by the way. We're going to talk about it.
We'll talk about that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, oh my God. I lost so much weight. I have a lot of energy, better flexibility, and everything. Even my vision, it was better. So yeah, the transformation with Beyond Meat, it was great. I think that besides Beyond Meat, it was all the nutrients I was eating from the vegetable, from the lentils, even the potatoes. I remember that tip you gave me, which I did it. I did it a couple of days ago for 3 days in a row. And it changed my life a lot. And I was telling you guys that I want to keep doing it.
I'm gonna tell the audience, because they're not aware of. So Marcos did a 30-day challenge where he went 100% plant-based, really introduced a lot of fruits, vegetables, whole grains, legumes, and substituted Beyond Meat for any meat that he had been eating previously. And that's the transformation that he's naming and talking about.
And it was very, when we talk about whole foods, it's avoiding processed foods, like sugars and oils and heavily processed, and trying to get them back into their whole plant form. So instead of eating, sunflower seed oil, you might eat the sunflower seeds or make a sunflower seed paste or something like that, just to give an example.
And I remember one of the things that was so cool was, Marcos, you kept sharing the recipes that you were coming up with. Maybe you can name a few for the audience. Your imagination was just limitless, and the stuff that you were making looked so delicious, and it was nutritious, and it helped you achieve these incredible results that you're talking about.
Yeah, that was like for me, cooking. I don't think it's just like I don't know if you do that in your careers, but for me, I don't open books I don't do research. I already know the flavors in my brain,
Hmm.
and it's easy for me to put it together. So, I was making like Asian stuff. I was making the burgers, but without the bread. I was putting the onions, Um, I make the lomo saltado, with it's a Peruvian dish. I can share all this recipe with you guys. Actually, I should do. You know what you should do? You can share that file with them. I don't mind. I think I give you a file with all the recipes.
Oh, that would be incredible to
And
share with the listeners. Yes.
yeah, it's endless. It's endless. How much you can change. How diet food is used to be recognized as a boring food.
Hmm.
That's a myth. It's a myth for me. It's just because the way they sell it in the market. So you buy the trash food. That's the way I see it. They put diet food, boring, and they put the bad one, juicy, creamy. You can do the same thing with plant-based or vegan or Beyond Meat. You can make crazy, crazy recipe. Just about your imagination. But
Yeah.
Yeah, you
again, you
even
need
said
that
you
help.
learned to cook differently. You said that you were sautéing vegetables differently, and even the cooking process. You would come up with different ways of not having to use
Yeah,
processed
like
ingredients.
the caramelize,
Yeah,
like first thing people think about caramelize is, butter, oil, sugar. I caramelize the potatoes with just water, you know? Like we talk about it. You just water, you put a little bit of, some paprika, just to give that color, garlic powder, and you just cover that process of condensation is gonna always keep raining the pot and caramelize, from the same sugars from the legumes or vegetables you're cooking. But many people don't know that. And the most you cook that way, the more you develop things like probably many people don't know. And I learned so many things and I keep applying it in my life, which I'm doing that a lot in my restaurant. Believe it or not, my new restaurant is it's the most healthy restaurant I ever have in my life.
Wow.
Yeah, it is. It is. It is. And I actually dedicate one dish on you guys, which is the lighter way. That's the name of the dish. It's a lighter way to eat. I put the name of the dish, a lighter way, which is a cauliflower with parsnip puree, like pickle, beets, delicious. One day you probably have to come and try.
yeah.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And I remember your creativity, and we'll definitely share those recipes because you were not eating steamed
Yeah.
rice and broccoli. You were not eating just plain
No, no, no,
oatmeal.
no.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried to change the most possible, like, so I can keep the journey,
Yeah.
I can keep going with I think when you eat the same thing all over and over and over, it's a point that you say, I need, that's when you break
Yes.
and you go back to the
And
bad
when it's
habits.
not tasty or delicious, what that was the thing.
No,
Like you made it really delicious, not just nutritious, but something that somebody would really whet the appetite to see that and say, "Oh, I'm not going to have any deprivation doing it this way. And I feel better."
yeah,
I remember you mentioned
This
even
episode of
it
Weeby Parents is
impacted your
brought to you by
boxing,
WeBecom, the
where
child
huge,
loved by parents.
yeah,
huge.
struggling
Even
with bedtime
my
routines
coach,
or managing your child's
it's the one
anxiety.
thing we know in boxing.
WeBe Calm
Since when you
transforms
eat the
deep
Eddie bag,
breathing into a
it's a
fun and
it's a
engaging
pound.
activity, helping kids find
They
their
know,
inner
they know
calm.
when you're weak.
Perfect for
They know
bedtime
when
stressful
you
moments
didn't
or
sleep.
any time your
They know
child
when
needs a
you
little
drink.
extra help to stay calm.
Somehow so many
Visit
years they've been training boxer, so they know when
WeBeCalm
you
to
eat
learn
the bag.
more and bring
It's a specific
tranquility to
sound.
your
It
family.
is a weak,
We be calm
medium, or like really hot.
because we be in
Like a
this
dry
together.
pop. That's when it's really like very strong punch. So my punches were sounded, the sound was that incredible. And I was training an extra hour.
Wow.
I increased 1 hour extra. And I was like, I was okay. I was not tired. I was not, I just stopped for 20 minutes, drink water. A lot of people do pre-workouts. a lot of people do like a protein shake in between. I was doing nothing. I just drink, make up a phone calls. Okay, keep going. And
That's
now that
awesome.
change was quick. That was in my second week.
Yeah. Yeah, the change can happen very quickly when you jump in fully. That's a big surprise to a lot of people that
Yeah,
try jumping in.
Yeah, your body
yeah.
really wants your body really wants to heal, and when you keep eating, unhealthy foods and life living in an unhealthy way, you hold the body back. But as soon as you get out of its way, it heals relatively quickly. So I think
Yeah,
that's what's
it's
pretty cool.
that's one thing that I miss. That's why like somehow I need to come back, to the habits, like that's the part I want to try to share with people. I guess a lot of people out there they're busy in a different ways, not just as a chef, entrepreneurs, or they just have daily works. And it's how we can live healthy with surrounded to so much stress and heavy hours of work. That's the challenge, my challenge right now. And I think you need to talk about it. We need to talk about this because I think a lot of people don't talk about it and they just pretend nothing is happening until it's too late, until
And
you have a disease and now you want to heal and now you miss your job. And now it's like, I think the more you talk about it, it's people are going to be more aware out there.
Yeah, it's interesting. The cancer and diabetes and heart disease, a lot of times when people get diagnosed, it's been around for a long time before our tools can pick up the signs and symptoms. So cancer on average is 10 years old from when it started as one mutant cell to by the time it's detected. So early detection is actually late detection. The same thing with heart disease and stress tests. It's got to be 70% blockage before you really pick up changes on stress test, for example, or diabetes. Your insulin has got to be, your resistance has to be really high before you start pouring enough glucose into the bloodstream that you start getting high symptoms of high blood sugar. So if people know that, then the time to treat these diseases is well before we pick them up on our tests. And to assume that if you're following the American diet and lifestyle, you're probably getting one or more of the chronic American diseases, and to jump in sooner than later, because like you said, it's easier to reverse the earlier you catch it.
Yeah, I see more awareness out there. But I'm not sure how many actually people is applying this, you know?
well, I think you
Uh,
named, and I'd love for you to talk about your own personal challenges, but before we started recording, you named something that I think is absolutely crucial and I think that most people resonate with, which is we know what to do. We have the information, we have the knowledge, but it's hard. It's hard when life hits us with so many different things. And I think that was something that came up for you, yes?
Right. You were hit pretty hard
yeah,
by a couple of things that people
yeah,
know about. And you want to talk about that a little bit?
yeah. Well, like you talk after I did the challenge. Yeah, that one is again, I was traveling before I did the challenge. I was in Indonesia. I actually left the country. I closed my business before I met you guys. I realized that my partnership it wasn't the right one. I closed everything. And I went to Indonesia with my girlfriend. I have a friend that he have a catamaran. He's sailing the world, and I'm a sailor, so we went there. I was surfing. I was trying to lose some weight. That was before I met you guys. I already was okay. I need to do something with me, and I spent a month there. And when I was in the Philippines, I got the email from Beyond Me. They found me somehow, and that's we started the conversation as I was in the Philippines. When I come back to the States, I met you guys. We did all this. And I say, great, I'm going to keep doing this. I know I can do it. Uh, and then I got the chance to get my old restaurant back. And from having the time to do my breakfast, to do my exercise, to prepare my meals. I got hit with a bat of baseball in my head in a good way, but in my personal life, it flips there. Like imagine me, they give you a restaurant which you was already done, but they told you you need to open in a month.
Mm.
So you had to LLC, insurance, workers' comp, menu, hiring, just imagine that in 1 month by myself with another guy that I hired. I was working 16 hours per day
Well,
on a laptop or developing or testing and trying my food. And it was a month. And after that, you open the business. So now you work more hours. This is no days off. So I'm not resting, which is
Wow.
one of the most important things. I was sleeping 4 to 5 hours per day. Okay. And I was eating whatever, all because we have no food in the beginning. And you're doing all this paperwork, lawyers, you can imagine. So what we do, we eat around the area, whatever, pizza, burgers, this. So I felt it like a week. And then the 2 weeks, I start getting weight again. And then the third week, and then the fourth week, and then you're like, back on the same stage. But when I open the restaurant, which I have food, okay, let me just try to come back. I try, I'm not gonna lie to you. It didn't work out well. At one point that, my girlfriend said, what if we order food? You know, uh,
yeah.
meal preps, it come frozen. Yeah, we should do that. And I did it, but it tastes so bad. I'm sorry. I tried two companies. I'm not going to mention the companies, but I tried two companies and I order gluten-free, dairy-free, and I do all my selections. It was unedible. So I have to pretty much heat it up the thing and trying to re-season or redo it. And I said, I'm cooking. So I stopped that. But yeah, it was, made this story kind of short. I gained all the way back and I have my pains coming back the same, which is like, I'm kind of upset, but I know at the same time I'm achieving a huge, uh, thing in my life. But if I'm not healthy, who's going to enjoy this?
Yeah. There's like a
Who's
cause.
going
It's like,
to, all this, it's like, okay, I'm going to make money and who's going to take it? The hospital or the pills? That's the picture I see. Some people say, yes, but I'm building my empire for what? For the hospitals or
yeah,
for somebody else after you die.
right.
So that's the way
Like
I
you're
see it.
aware
So,
of like you said, like you felt so good, your energy was great, all these aches and pains went away, and then they come rushing back when you go back to the old way of eating. And there's a part of you that knows, hey, this is, this is killing me. And then there's another part that's trying to get a restaurant open and deal with the pressures of running a business and a life the way it was presented to you. And now what's happening,
yeah,
and this is what I think is important for the listeners, is to realize that, yeah, sometimes we sort of get off the path, and it's not about staying on the path perfectly all the time. It's about knowing when you're off and then knowing how to get back on. And that life comes at all of us. And it can be really hard sometimes. And it's about the humility to say, you know what? I'm not showing up the way I want to. And I'm going to do something about it. And it doesn't have to be perfect. But what does that look like? And I think that would be helpful to talk about.
I think that would be too. And I think there's another part of this which you named right now, which I think is so important. And again, it's an oversight for a lot of us is we're working towards something in the future but we're hurting ourselves in the present. And so we don't even get to enjoy it in the way that we hope in the future. And so many people are living that life that you just expressed, long hours, little sleep, living in survival mode, trying to make it happen. And at the same time, there's such a cost to your personal present self that will then impact how you experience all of that in the future. And it's all, at the end of the day, it robs you of joy.
Well,
And
there's an illusion that, believe me, I've bought into myself as well, that once you get all of this work done, then you'll take care of yourself. Once you just get past this hurdle, then I'll find inner peace, and then I will, things will be better. And I think that that's just an illusion. So the question is, how do we experience peace even when there's the chaos of life? And how do we experience health even when there's the chaos of what's going on in your world? And is it possible to have, like we talk about, there's boundaries, outer boundaries with other people, but can we have inner boundaries with the parts of us that are telling us there's not time to take care of ourselves?
I think you named the illusion. The illusion is twofold. One is the illusion that things will never stop happening in life. At some point in life, it'll just be peaceful and nothing else will be coming at you. That's one of the illusions. And the other illusion is that, when I get there, all will be good versus, Marcos, you shared, you end up there with diabetes or after a heart attack or with, aches and pains that are debilitating or autoimmune diseases that really impact how your quality of life moving forward. And those are harder to reverse than to prevent in the first place. So kind of keeping an eye on all of that is so valuable. And I think it's really valuable that you are able to see that and to say, hey, I want to come back to that, a healthier way of living. And the beauty about it is you
Yeah.
can always bounce right back in.
No, that's for sure. I know that for a fact. I think one of the things I see the most, we have too much distraction in this world today. I think that's not one of the biggest ones, like besides, I was watching a video a couple of days ago, the kids from the 90s, from the 80s, versus the kids from today. Back in the day, we were outside. We didn't want to be at home. Now it's the opposite, so it's a lot of stuff that now, even as adults, we start staying more at home because we have all these distractions, that you can stay at home and you forget that it's a beautiful world out there. So that's another thing that I've been observing, including me. Sometimes I'm tired, but I stay at home watching Netflix all day. Before we didn't have Netflix. So you see 4, 5, 6 channels. No, let me go out. I want to get out of this house.
Well, also,
But
people sometimes feel tired, Marcos. It's called sort of like immobilization, where your body shuts down because it's been mobilized and running in that fight or flight mode for so long. And then it says, hey, we can't do that anymore. Let's shut systems down. And it's not just a tired, like a sleep tired. It's actually a protective sort of getting the system. We can't fight the threat by fighting and fleeing anymore. So let's try and just shut the system down and hope the threat passes. And I think that's where people lay
I
on.
do that.
What?
I do that a lot.
Exactly.
We all
I
do.
stay
Yeah.
in my bed
Yeah.
watching the wall for 3 hours and my body's not moving.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah. Our body says enough. I can't take any more.
And that's what's important, is the way to get out of that is to give your body messages of safety again. And you do that by things like you said, it's connection with people, connection to nature, the type of food we put in our bodies, how much time we protect for sleep. And that's where I think there's a part of us that always tells us, sort of like it's an urgency, scarcity. There's not enough. You got to move fast. If we don't do this, all these problems are going to happen. And it's keeping us mobilized. And that's one part of us. And there's another part of us that's more grounded and peaceful and knows what it's like to live in that sort of grassy meadow with the sunlight and says, hey, we can enjoy life too. And if both those parts serve us. But if one part is really loud and the other part gets drowned out, that's where we get into trouble. And that's why I like these inner boundaries where we can acknowledge both parts. And like there's a part of you that says, I got to work 16 hours a day or my whole restaurant's going to fail. And then, hey, well, that's probably that scarcity urgency part that's talking. But from a grounded place, if we said, hey, you can work, if you have 10 hours today to make your restaurant successful, how are we going to best use those 10 hours? And then let's make sure we're going to hold a boundary around those 10 hours. And then I'm going to make sure I get my sleep and my connection and some of that other self-care stuff in, because when I do that, I'm actually more effective in those 10 hours that I'm holding. So I think that there's a lot of like inner dialogue work. It's not, I mean, like you said, what to eat, how to prepare the food.
Yeah.
It's more of sort of resetting that inner dialogue and that term of inner boundaries. What's your reaction to that, Alona?
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. And even if I know really I need to do for right now, for the next 6 months, it needs to be 16 hours. It's how do we take those 16 hours and infuse in them a way for you to support your health, even if you're there for that many hours, because that's what needs to happen right now. So I think there are a lot of different ways that you can kind of enter this. And I actually think
but
that
it's pretty hard.
I lower it. I lower it now for 13. It's not, no, in the beginning was 16. Now I am in between 12 to 13.
nice. Already so you've taken it down.
I settle, the more at one point it's going to be, I want to be 8 hours, I did it before, but it takes some time.
Yeah. And I think
oh,
go ahead.
No, I just want to do it differently this time, because back in the day, took me to the hospital at one point.
Oh, wow.
I have a hernia, L4, L5 in between my disc. When I had too much stress, too much tension, inflammation, and I can't walk, for example. That's because too many hours, not resting, overweight, stuff like that. So I don't want to get to that point.
Right.
I already been in the hospital 3 times in my career because the excess of work.
Right.
And once I almost died.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah.
So the importance of balance. And I think that's the challenge with people in general is like it's very hard to make healthy food choices when we're sleeping 6 hours a night. It just is. Like I know it's just like it's also harder for me to parent. I know I'm more likely to snap at Alona and the kids if I sleep 6 hours versus 8 hours. And we can go into the science behind that, but it's very clear our systems function differently. And so knowing that, then the question is, hey, if I'm going to continue working, let's say 16 hours, what can I put in there to sort of like at least a safety net? And like you said, you're working now towards 12 hours. So, okay, well, I'm going to be doing 12. What can I do? I want to sleep 7 or 8. That gives me another 4 hours. What can I do to really optimize my body to be most successful? And then, like you said, you're going to continue to titrate and fine tune. Yeah. So it's, to me, it's that stepping back and saying, how can I show up differently here?
Yeah. And then it's not an all or nothing, that there is a continuum. So, okay, for the next 3 months, it's going to be 16 hours, but then I have a plan to decrease and, do things differently. And I think what would be really awesome if you guys are game is if we end right now and then bring Marcos back and talk about the transformation, the actual challenges, and how to really take that and practically start applying it to your life, Marcos, as you continue to get to that healthier place where we want to be.
Almost like one of our coaching sessions with Marcos through some of his challenges, so people can hear how to navigate that.
Yeah.
That sounds good. Does that work for you?
I would love to. I would love to. First of all, because it's my health. And second, you guys are amazing. That's going to be amazing if we do this together. And also, if we can share this to hundreds of thousands of people, it can change people's life, like health. And if I have the chance to share this with people, with a living proof person, why not? It's like, I'm more than happy to do it. And I have to. I already have it in the back of my head. I need to give it a change now. I can't wait anymore. Not because it's more like a personal thing. And also it's like, I know the consequence. I know the consequence. One day you're here and then you just, that happens to me. That happens. I was cooking. The restaurant full. I pass out. Boom. And I realized that I have a strangled hernia umbilical. My whole organs, they were shutting down 20%. I let go. I knew I have the hernia in my umbilical, and I push it back all the time. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay. It gets strangled, and I almost die. Because because I thought the restaurant, it was more important than anything else. And this is what I'm trying to tell people right now. It's not. No matter what kind of job or career you have. And then I found myself in a hospital by myself. Like, the doctor told me, if you don't come today, you die in your sleep.
That is intense and scary and quite the awakening.
Yeah, it wakes you up, though.
One beautiful thing I know about you, Marcos, is when you decide something, it seems it happens. So I have absolute faith that you will head into that healthy state.
Great. So we're going to wrap up this first part with Marcos now, and then we're going to make sure they tune into the second part where we start the beginning process of coaching him through some of his obstacles, and then we'll continue to check in with Marcos over time, and we can see his transformation, how he gets back on the horse and is as successful as we know he can be.
Yeah.
So,
well, thank you so much, Marcos, for being with us in this first part, and I'm excited to continue the conversation.
Your experiences and feedback are invaluable to us.
Please email us at parents@webetogether.com with your own cheers and tears, as well as any questions or stories you'd like to share.
And we'd love for you to hit that subscribe button. Bye for now.